Madam District Attorney Sandra, Doorley, Sheriff Todd, Baxter. My name is Chris Chichester. I live at 26 Sanders Farm Drive in Penfield. I'm demanding public information from you that you are obligated to provide to me using the instrument called the Freedom of Information Law. Freedom of Information Law. The names and salaries of every public employee at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. Your entire nauseating, repulsive, corrupt, criminal existence, Sheriff Todd Baxter, is because of taxpayer dollars. What do you pay every single employee at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, to include the jail? This is the document that compels you to provide that information to me. Summer's gone, winter's in your eyes. Freedom of Information Law. The names and salaries of every public employee at the Monroe County District Attorney's Office. Does the law sound like a concept that you are sworn to uphold in Monroe County? District Attorney Sandra Doorley. This is the law right here. Freedom of Information Law. What do you pay every single public employee at the Monroe County District Attorney's Office? And I want to know specifically what you pay. You're a public employee that stood in Penfield Town Court before the pedophile protection racket that is 70-year-old John P. Lomenzo Jr. and didn't talk. How is it that I'm deposited in Monroe County Jail as an innocent man when I haven't committed a crime? The prosecutor doesn't talk. How does that happen, Sandra Doorley? Conviction Integrity Unit. You have to have a separate unit or bureaucracy in the district attorney's office to police your own incompetence. I wake every morning and the cold winds cover me. Freedom of Information Law. Total cost of overtime, time and a half, or whatever paid beyond a base salary is calculated at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. There's a standard 40-hour work week. And then your public employees, Todd Baxter, work beyond that. So are they still paid at the same hourly rate or the same amount of money that generates their annual salary? How is that done at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office? How do you do that, Sheriff Todd Baxter? Because perhaps you have heard of public employees that abuse overtime and gouge taxpayers. So I demand to know, Sheriff Todd Baxter, if you're abusing overtime and gouging taxpayers. All I've got's a ghost of what could be. Freedom of Information Law. Total cost of overtime, time and a half, or however pay beyond a base salary is calculated at the Monroe County District Attorney's Office. You, Sandra Doorley, have a standard 40-hour work week. And your public employees I do not know the salary for at the District Attorney's Office will work beyond that 40-hour work week because they have cases. And when they work beyond that 40-hour work week, how do you pay your public employees? And as the District Attorney of Monroe County, I know you want to comply with what I have right here in my hand because it's the law, Sandra Doorley. So, Madam District Attorney, Sandra Doorley, when your public employees work beyond a 40-hour work week, how do you pay those public employees? You can see the lights shine in front of me. Freedom of Information Law. The cost of taxpayers of Monroe County Sheriff Todd Baxter has expended taxpayer dollars on employment-related discrimination lawsuits to fail to comply with Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Employment-related discrimination lawsuits. What is the environment at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office as males and females interact with each other? Based on my experience with your repulsive criminal organization, Sheriff Todd Baxter, I demand to know If your male public employees are sexually harassing your female public employees, what is sexual harassment? It's a man asking a woman out on a date over and over and over, and she is under siege at the office with no. Do your male public employees treat your public employees like that? And if there's a complaint, how is it handled? It's a male touching a female on parts of her body where she should never be touched. And that's disgusting, even a little neck rub. It's a man using vulgar, vile, profane language at the office. And that vulgar, vile, profane language makes it impossible to do a job. So, Sheriff Baxter, have you used taxpayer dollars to settle employment-related discrimination lawsuits? Is the answer yes, or is the answer no? If the answer is no, it achieves finality and it's no. If the answer is yes, then what are the facts and circumstances of such a settlement? So, Sheriff Todd Baxter, what is the answer to this question? Because the answer to this question is the answer to how you supervise your office. And the answer to this question gives people an idea of what is going on at your Monroe County Sheriff's Office. If you can see the light, shout out to where you'll be. Freedom of Information Law. The cost of taxpayers of Monroe County District Attorney Sandra Doorley settled employment-related discrimination lawsuits fair to comply with Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Does the Civil Rights Act of 1964 sound familiar, Sandra Doorley? Because this is the most important and significant law of the 20th century. So, Sandra Doorley, what's the answer to that question? How are your public employees at the district attorney's office comporting themselves on the job? Do your public employees at the district attorney's office behave with standards that achieve morality? Do your public employees at the district attorney's office behave with standards that achieve virtue? Do your public employees at the district attorney's office understand the difference between right and wrong, truth and lies, justice and injustice? How you answer this question answers those questions. I'm in a broken dream. I stare out into space. You know I called you up. Nothing takes your place. Freedom of Information Law. The cost of surveillance device purchased with taxpayer dollars by Monroe County Sheriff Todd Baxter and affixed to a building at 2025 Penfield Road to monitor of Christopher Chichester, 26 Sanders Farm Drive, walks through the parking lot next to the building. No innocent citizen, no American, no New Yorker should ever have to write this lunatic fringe language. And it's your lunatic fringe behavior, Sheriff Todd Baxter, that forced me to write that language. Surveillance device. A surveillance device is a camera that captures images of people and other objects. And you, Todd Baxter, bought one and affixed it to the building at 2025 Penfield Road. And I'm going to show it to you because I was on it. That Todd Baxter right there is your surveillance device. And if it's not called a surveillance device, Todd the fascist stooge, then what is this called? I'm walking through the parking lot for the 4,000th time, and Elliot Roth, who works at this building, says to me, "You're going to be arrested." I don't know what the hell he's talking about. I'm going about my day, walking through that parking lot just like my neighbors do. Just like my neighbors do every day. 4,000 times I've walked through that parking lot. How ordinary is it to walk through a parking lot? I'm coming back from Wegmans Food Markets. Your headquarters. It's your headquarters. You always have two of your whack jobs alongside the building. And here's one of them driving by me. What the fuck are you doing at Wegmans? She is right here driving right by me. I'm walking through the parking lot. Then I'm allowed to walk through a Wegmans. And he's driving right by me. I took out my phone. And this is the Pulitzer Prize winning shot for spot photography. You are such a joke. Do you know what your public employees are doing? What is she doing at Wegmans? What is she doing driving through this park like she was alongside the building like they are every day? Such a joke and incompetent. You don't even know what your people are doing. And if you do know, you don't give a damn. You need to go up to your public employees and tell them two things. Lose weight and stop parking your vehicles next to Wegmans at 2157 Penfield Road. So, that's not called a surveillance device, Todd Baxter. What's it called? You bought it. You installed it. I was on it. And you lied about it. Freedom of Information Law. The cost for a hotel and plane ticket for Monroe County Sheriff employee Ryan Fisher to attend the Super Bowl in Atlanta, Georgia on February 3rd, 2017 with his canine dog, Lola. This is your employee Ryan Fisher in Atlanta, Georgia. Why is Ryan Fisher in Atlanta, Georgia? Why he's standing there in a southern state with his dog in front of a football stadium before a football game? Answer that question. What was the event that he was at? How much was the plane ticket? Was it $250? Was it $500? Was it $750? Was it $1,000? You spent taxpayer dollars to deliver him to Atlanta, Georgia. Did he go to a Braves game, a Falcons game? What is your employee, Ryan Fisher, doing 1,000+ miles away from Rochester, from Monroe County, from New York State? Tweet from the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. As we get ready to watch Super Bowl, we're grateful to the men and women assigned to keep fans and players safe in Atlanta, including MCSO's own Deputy Ryan Fisher and Canine Lola. Deputy Fisher sent this photo from Atlanta. Thank you both for your service. Your service? What's the service? There's no service going on here. You live in such a delusional, pathetic 1984. Service? One of your employees wrote this tweet. This is no service at all. This is a junket. He's having a good time. He's not on the job. He's not investigating a case. Freedom of Information Law. Cost of taxpayers for photography session approved by Monroe County Sheriff Todd Baxter to photograph 10 public employees underwater in a pool. Who took that picture? These are your public employees in wetsuits, underwater in a pool. Is this a private event? That has nothing to do with the operations of the Monroe County Sheriff's Office because it was on your Facebook page. I know a Facebook page is not an official government website, but these are your employees. And that Facebook page has one photograph after another, your Monroe County Sheriff employees. Did you expend taxpayer dollars for this? Where was this taken? Was this taken in Monroe County? Was this taken during normal business hours, 9 to 5? Here they are. These are your employees. This is such a pathetic joke, an abomination. They're not on the job. This is a freak show. And it's no surprise because you, Todd Baxter, are a freak show. What are the physical training standards or requirements at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office? Do you have a PT test or physical training test? The answer I know is no. You don't. You have no physical training standards whatsoever. Because the majority of your public employees are overweight. I've been around enough of them to see it right up close. And of course, in the photographs that are on your Facebook page. There's one guy who's in the neighborhood of 40 pounds overweight. Where do you buy a uniform for him? Freedom of Information Law. The date Monroe County Sheriff Todd Baxter hired Monroe County Sheriff employee Michael Rather. Michael Rather was a Monroe County Sheriff employee for 20 years, and then he retired. He was a private citizen. Michael Radler was a private citizen. And then you, Todd Baxter, rehired Michael Radler to work in your office as an assistant or a special assistant. I don't know his title because I don't have the public employee payroll. What does Michael Radler do in the office? And Michael Radler is a double dipper because he has his one paycheck from 20 years of employment in the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. Then he has a second paycheck for his present employment as an assistant or a special assistant. And that is why your taxpayer subsidized employee I do not know the salary for is a double dipper. The names and charges of every inmate at Monroe County Jail from January 1, 2018 to December 31, 2018. Names and charge. It's a public facility. The name, the charge. I'm demanding that documentation because I want to call these individuals about their experience at your jail. When I was at your jail, I wrote everything down. Every day I'm writing down what I see. And I'm in one part of your jail, and I noticed that there's a Monroe County Sheriff Office employee at the jail near me. Then I'm in another part of the jail. So I'm walking around and I'm writing down everything I see. And what I see is appalling. And he's near me again. And then I conclude that he's following me around. I try to avoid this guy. So I walk back into my jail cell. The fact that I have to say my jail cell as an innocent man enrages me. I have never committed a crime, Todd Baxter. And I'm going to get to how I've never committed a crime. So I walk back into my jail cell and I sit down on the cot and I'm alone in there. And in comes your public employee. And I do know his last name. I don't know his first name. I don't know his first name because I don't have the public employee payroll. So your public employee, as I'm sitting down on that cot, stands over me and he goes to grab my notebook and I pull it away. And he takes my arm, puts it behind my back and jams my arm up, and I release the notebook. I have to. And he takes my notebook and leaves. So I'm sitting there in your jail cell and I'm watching him walk around, read what I wrote. This is what your employees are doing. So I like to think that I have a high tolerance for pain. And my arms bother me. And it continues to bother me. So I go to the front desk and I say to your public employee I do not know the salary for at the front desk, my arms bother me, I need to go to the doctor. I go back into my jail cell as an innocent man. And I sit down on that same cot. And who comes to get me in my jail cell is the same guy. So me and this guy go to the jail doctor. And I sit down in front of the jail doctor. And I tell him what I just told you. And the jail doctor says to me, who did this to you and grabbed your arm and twisted your arm behind your back? And I say to the jail doctor, the guy standing behind me. You can see the light shining in front of me. Freedom of Information Law, documentation for the case of Christopher Chichester before John P. Lomenzo Jr. in Penfield Town Court. What is the name of the female prosecutor, Sandra Doorley? What's her name? This is the simplest question to answer. What's her name, Sandra Doorley? What's her name, Kyle Steinbach? What's her name, Ann Chase? when I was in elementary school, just like every student, you learn about how courts work. And in courts, the prosecutor makes an argument. The prosecutor stands in court and details why the defendant is guilty of the crime. I'm not guilty of any crime. I've never committed a crime. So I'm standing there at the podium in front of 70-year-old John P. Lomenzo Jr. I look over to my left, and I'm going to interrupt your public employee, Sandra Doorley, when she starts to say something that's inaccurate. I'm going to interrupt her. So I'm standing there, and I look over like this. And your public employee, Sandra Doorley, that is supposed to make a case and argument against me, says nothing. There was total silence from her. There's not one word, not one syllable. There's nothing. How am I deposited in Monroe County Jail when the prosecutor doesn't make an argument before 70-year-old John P. Lomenzo Jr.? How does that happen, Sandra Doorley? How does that happen, Kyle Steinbach? How does that happen, Ann Chase? Doesn't even matter to you. Well, Sheriff Baxter, I have a product here, Axe Forest 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner here for the hair. Oh, pardon me, Todd. You don't have any hair. I don't know why I was making that mistake. I'll try not to make that mistake again. Todd. I'm really sorry about that. I have a poster here of a film that Michael Radler started as a double dipper. So I'll show you. He's got his 2 paychecks. He was a Monroe County Sheriff employed for 20 years, and then he got his second paycheck. So we have the double dipper Michael Radler here. And Michael Radler was in the film Twins. You can see me standing right here, and here's Danny DeVito standing right next to him there. So that's why Michael Radler has 2 paychecks. Okay. So now Todd, his Axe Night 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner, clean and soft. Oh, pardon me, Todd. But you don't have any hair. You can't use the Axe shampoo. So I go to PW Fitness in Penfield, which was a gym, and I walk over there from my residence. I go to the gym one day. I'm at the back. I'm on the bench press. I do 3 sets of 10. I can finish the second set of 10. I'm about to begin the third set of 10 and lean back on the machine. Up walks to me, gym psychopath, Jermaine Benman. Jermaine Benman screams when he uses the weights. Not a grunt, he screams. And he goes like this. I never allow the gym psychopath to tell me what to do with the gym. So I say to him, I'll be 30 seconds. I lean back because I'm on the apparatus. Benman walks up to me. He stands over me. He places his left and right leg over me. As I'm leaning up to ask him what he's doing, he punches down like this and my head snaps back. As Benman began to walk away from me, I should have attacked him and stomped on his bald head, on his balls, choked him out, started a vicious fight there that would have been separated and would have been just another fight at the gym. And there are fights at the gym every day because of psychopaths like Jermaine Benman. A witness calls the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. I go outside. After Andrew Reale arrives. Andrew Reale is a vile, disgusting, appalling human being that you should fire immediately. If there is someone at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, Sheriff Todd Baxter, that never deserves to achieve that 20 years, it's Andrew Reale. So fire his fucking ass immediately. What would you think what's about to happen to me because of Andrew Reale happened to Kevin Baxter, exactly Baxter? So Andrew Reale tells me to wait in the backseat of his vehicle, which I do. And I'm looking out the front window of your Monroe County Sheriff's Office vehicles. Andrew Reale talks to Jermaine Benman. And then Andrew Reale walks over to the side of the vehicle with Jermaine Benman after he coached Jermaine Benman what to say to me. And Jermaine Benman says to me, I want to press charges against you, and that is how Your taxpayer-subsidized employee I do not know the salary for, Andrew Reale concocts harassment second for me. What would your wife think if Kevin Baxter is charged with harassment second sitting in the back seat of a Monroe County Sheriff vehicle? What would your wife think if Zachary Baxter is charged with harassment second sitting in the back seat of a Monroe County Sheriff vehicle? I would love to be in your house, Sheriff Todd Baxter, if Zachary Baxter and Kevin Baxter came back and sat down at the dinner table to talk to you and your wife to explain the circumstances and facts of being charged with harassment second after being attacked by a violent thug and sitting in the back seat of a Monroe County Sheriff Office vehicle. Any person charged with harassment second has a victim. Who's the victim? If I'm hypothetically guilty of harassment second, there is a victim. There is a person I am harassing. I've never harassed anybody in my life. Every friend will confirm this. Every former coworker will confirm this. Every girlfriend. Every person I've ever worked with on Capitol Hill or in Albany or in the 101st Airborne Division will confirm I've never harassed anyone. And this ticket, Todd Baxter, with my name on it and the handwriting of your public employee, Andrew Reale, says harassment second. So, Sheriff Todd Baxter, who's the victim? The second concoction. I have never committed a crime. I moved here to my residence in 2012 with my then girlfriend, beautiful, perfect Laura. Everything's normal. I walk through this parking lot. There's no grass cutting. And when I say grass cutting, it's a whole new way to cut grass. It's not like my grandfather did in Queens and my father did on Long Island. When they're on top of that tractor makes a racket, a noise. And if you're sleeping at 7 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday and that tractor is right near your window, guess what's going to happen, Sheriff Baxter? You're going to wake up. So, suddenly they hear, after my dentist, Dr. Gloria Nichols, leaves, no grass cutting for 7 o'clock in the morning. I called the town of Penfield. She called the town of Penfield. Do Layla Kumar and Neeraj Shah, these parasites, own this land? This is it right here. Who owns that land? He comes by here. When he's by here on his tractor at 7 o'clock in the morning, it makes a racket. So, who owns this land? Sheriff Todd Baxter. Go to 2041 Penfield Road and ask Layla Kumar and Neeraj Shah for the documentation for that ownership of this land and the land behind my house where I used to walk my little guy, my dog, and I adopted. You know what you're going to get from these parasites? You're going to get this. This is what they sent me. This is so laughable. You don't own anything, Layla Kumar. You don't own the land behind my house or alongside my house. And then when I called the Monroe County Office of Real Property, the guy couldn't confirm it, and he hung up on me. And I kept saying to him over and over, just tell me if Layla Kumar and Neeraj Shah own the land alongside and behind my residence at 26 Sandra Farm Drive. Click. Then I called him back. Did you hang up on me? Click. So they don't have the documentation, and the guy that's supposed to confirm it is hang up on me. This is your 1984 Todd Baxter. So tell me what the crime is, Todd. You don't know what a crime is in Monroe County. You do not know what a crime is in Monroe County, Todd the fascist stooge. How is it a crime to leave my residence, walk out and stand right here, say they don't own that land, and walk back in my house? Steve Desmond is a private citizen that works for this racket. Your employees told Steve Desmond, call us when this Chris Chichester comes out of your house. Because how did you get to my house? You arrived at my house. So in order to arrive at my house, you were contacted. And I'm telling you, the person that contacted your fucking fanatics is Steve Desmond, and he's a private citizen. So you're empowering a private citizen to descend on my residence and concoct a crime from me, Todd Baxter, and 6 of you are here. I'm sitting right here. I see this Deputy Maya, this lying hack. I spoke to her on the phone for an hour, and I don't know if she's writing a warrant for my arrest. She runs into my backyard. There she falls down on her face. Your employees are so incompetent. They can't even stand on their own 2 feet when they're abridging my civil and constitutional rights. There she is in my backyard dirt. And then I hear a pounding on my front door. You're pounding on my front door to get to me. I open the door. 5 of you there. And this whack job in my backyard, after she got done pulling herself up from my backyard dirt, runs in the front. So you 6 of you on my front lawn. And I hear, we just want to talk to you outside. That's a lie. You're lying to me on my front door. I walk outside. I stand on my front lawn. I look over. There's my neighbor, Adam. He watched this happen. He saw me go outside, and then he's watching me on my front lawn, and then the handcuffs go on. How is that a crime? How is that a crime? Tell me. How is it criminal contempt to walk outside, stand right here, say they don't own land, and walk back in my house? Tell me. Tell me how it's a crime, Todd the fascist stooge. Contact me. You arrested me for this. I'm standing on my front lawn as an innocent man in handcuffs. And then when I was taken to your Monroe County jail, I'm in the jail and you handcuffed me inside the jail and I couldn't reach the urinal and I urinated on myself. So I'm in there and I don't know if the front door was locked because sometimes the front door will be blown open by the wind. And if that happens, then my little guy is going to run outside. So I'm handcuffed inside your jail cell as an innocent man, urinating on myself. I didn't commit a crime. And I'm wondering if my dog that I adopted from Mom Pop Farm Main Side is going to run outside. So it's about 3 o'clock in the morning, and your public employee I do not know the salary for came to the door at the jail cell and he says to me, we're going to cut you a break and send you home. Cut me a break? Cut me a break, he says to me. He's giving me a break. You concocted a crime for me. I'm in your jail cell as an innocent man, handcuffed inside, urinating on myself. And he says to me, we're going to cut you a break. So he drove me home. I have never committed a crime, Sheriff Todd Baxter. Sheriff Baxter, I'd like to recommend Old Spice Timber with mint, 2-in-1. It says here, for the hair. Oh, pardon me, Todd. You don't have any hair. I don't know why I keep making that, mistake, Todd. So here we have Pantene Pro V and Classic Clean shampoo, fresh, clean, healthy hair. Oh, I'm sorry, Todd. You can't use Pantene Classic Clean, for the hair. So, Todd, here we have Axe Phoenix. 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner. Oh, I'm sorry, Todd. You can't use Axe Phoenix. I won't make that mistake again. I promise. District Attorney Sandra Doorley, I'm very concerned about your behavior, sweetheart. When you leave your offices at 47 South Fitzhugh Street, because you're obviously lonely and you're seeking adventure outside of the district attorney's office when you're not abridging the civil and constitutional rights of innocent Americans like me. And I see you have a new hobby. I hear you on the ice with your arms up in the air. And I must caution you, Madam District Attorney, that you should not be dating Jeff Gillooly, because that's going to be bad news for you. Okay, honey? So, tell Jeff that you're busy, that you're abridging the civil and constitutional rights of innocent Americans like me, and you can't make it. And if he wants to make a pornographic movie with you, you got to tell him no also too. Okay, honey? You heard that? From me, Chris Chichester in Penfield, New York. So, Todd, here we have Axe Apollo 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner. Oh, pardon me, Todd. You can't use Axe Apollo. If there wanted to be a moon landing, it would be on your bald head. So, Todd, I ran this 5K at MCC, and I did real well. I came first place in my age group. And here are you public employees standing around at MCC. was such a joke. I saw him standing around at this gym. I had my phone. I took my phone out. I loved it. This is just as good as taking pictures of your whack jobs at your Wegmans Food Market's headquarters. Here they are. What are they doing in MCC? What's the answer to that question? So, Todd, here we have Axe Anarchy. You know a lot about anarchy because you're a whack job. Axe Anarchy for him. That's you, Todd. 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner for the hair. Oh, I'm sorry, Todd. You don't have any hair. And after Todd, after you get done, when you get out of the shower, after you get done using this shampoo on your hair, you want to make sure that you have the proper gel in your hair because you want to make it shine when you get to the office. All right. So here we have clean cut look pomade Axe for the hair. Oh, I'm sorry, Todd. I don't have any hair. Keep making that mistake. I won't make that mistake again. So, Todd, when your hair, when you slick it back, if you want to look like Gordon Gekko in Wall Street, Todd, he's a criminal like you. What you do is you get this all-weather Aquanet extra super hold hairspray. Oh, I'm sorry, Todd. I don't have any hair. Yeah, I won't make that mistake again. So, accusatory instrument. Fired this deputy mom if you haven't fired her already. Does she have her 20 years? What's her salary? I don't know. That the defendant did not only enter, remain unlawfully, enter upon the premises 2041 Penfield Road by walking through the parking lot after being told through certified mail by the police that he's not allowed on the property. The police. The police told me. This is the laziness and the bankruptcy of you, Todd Baxter. Who is the police? Nobody told me anything. I didn't get anything certified mail. This is such a concoction of lie. It's not a surprise because you're a liar, Todd Baxter. You'll say anything. Walking through the park line, huh? There they are. They're my neighbors right there. Did you arrest my neighbors? Every day they walk through that park line. Every day. I've walked through this park line 4,000 times, just like my neighbors. Are you outside screaming at my neighbors, losing your mind, Nayraj? Here they are right here. I was in my backyard, my little guy, and I see him. I just took my phone out and took that picture. Just going about my ordinary day. As I speak, I can see people. People are going to be walking through the parking lot all day today. All day today on this Saturday. How many of them are you going to arrest? If I leave my residence today or tomorrow and walk through that parking lot and this psychotic Nayraj or Layla Kumar Shah see me, you will come to my house and arrest me. Do you want the address for my neighbors here in Sanders Farm Drive? If this is a crime, it's a crime. What would the people of Monroe County think if you knocked on their door and arrested them for walking through this parking lot? Because you'll arrest me. You'll abridge my civil and constitutional rights with your fanaticism. Do you want their address? They're walking through the parking lot. I talk to them. These are some of the nicest people anybody would want to meet. Here they are walking through this parking lot. I'm at your jail. I couldn't make a phone call. I don't know what my sentence is. So the first thing I did when I got home is I wrote my mom and dad, my 78-year-old mother, my 84-year-old father. This is a long email that I wrote as an innocent man at your jail because I knew the first thing I had to do was contact my mom and dad. Dear mom and dad, I know you understand how much I love you and that I would never go 1 month without a single email or phone call. I explained what happened in this email since June 13th. I was thinking about you both every day. You're always with me. You're always in my heart. I couldn't call my mom and dad. And I'd go to the desk and I'd ask, I just need to make a phone call, 5 minutes. I'll be off the phone in 5 minutes. I'm told no. Where's your humanity, Todd Baxter? Where's your dignity? Where's your decency? Where's your morality? You don't have humanity, dignity, decency, and morality. Resign.